Day in History, September 6th. In 1792, French revolutionary leader Georges Danton was elected deputy for Paris to the National Convention. In 1860, American social reformer and pacifist Jane Addams, co-winner, with Nicholas Murray Butler, of the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1931, was born. In 1914, French and British forces launched an offensive against advancing Germans in the First Battle of the Marne during World War I. In 1901, Republican William McKinley, the 25th President of the United States, 1897 to 1901, was shot this day in 1901 by Leon Czolgosz, an anarchist, at the Pan-American Exposition in Buffalo, New York, and died 8 days later. In 1944, Germany fired the first long-range V-2 missile at an Allied target during World War II. In 1966, South African Prime Minister Hendrik Verwoerd, who rigorously developed and applied the policy of apartheid, was stabbed to death by a temporary parliamentary messenger who was later ruled insane. In 1991, the Soviet Union recognized the independence of the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. In 1995, American professional baseball player Cal Ripken Jr. played in his 2,131st consecutive game, surpassing Lou Gehrig's record, which had stood for more than 56 years. In 1997, about a week after her death in a car accident, a funeral was held for Princess Diana, and an estimated 2.5 billion watched the televised ceremony, which included a performance by Elton John. In 2007, Italian operatic lyric tenor Luciano Pavarotti, who was considered one of the finest bel canto opera singers of the 20th century, died at age 71. In 2019, Zimbabwean politician Robert Mugabe, who was the longtime ruler of Zimbabwe, first as Prime Minister, 1980 to 87, then as President, 1987 to 2017, died at age 95.